melodic tune. I get hypnotic with the moon, but you got to put me down soon. I flip a sideshow if you come my way. Up, down, and around, even sideways. I'm about as ready as the light can get. We can go all out. I ain't afraid of the sweat, but yet I bet you got the techniques to freak a girl inside out. What's that all about? Can I have some of that? You gotta put me on. Word around town is you're 9 men strong. I wanna be put on in the worst way. Since the first day, I think it was a Thursday. You be that brother that I wanna sink my teeth in. Make me wanna ask, where the hell you been? I like the way you be with all that personality. But I got flavor too. You need to get with me. What you gonna be down? I wanna be down. I wanna be down. No matter the time. Oh, yeah. It's true. I wanna be down. I wanna be down. Oh, yeah. Every day new clothes. Got the cut coupon. On 3 got the heat so fluffy. Slanging taxis because it's more than 20 ducats struck it. Kinda rich now, his pockets looking straight. Slam the D's on the benzo, pancake by the gate. Mom's looking straight with her half. She got great lounging in her new home that's about to stay. I'll be your cornmeal motel. You can get it when you want it, even though you got chicks all up on it. Don't matter, cause whether you fly, I can't lie. I've been macking daddy from the corner of my eye. Now, baby, bring it on. Don't be frontin' on no baby boo. All I wanna know is what's up with you. How can I get with you? Seems like you got a hold on. What up? It must be voodoo, cause baby, I want you.
What it good? What's good? What's good?
Niecy One is on.
I see. Lil Webby, what's happening?
What's up, Lil Webby?
Hey.
Figure we get all these women out here with kids, you know. I can talk to it, but y'all got these kids. I
So
don't.
small, about this length, about this width, about this flow, about this instinct.
So after I open it up, Ms. Roy, it's on you, Shawty.
On me, Shawty?
It's on you, Shawty. How's everybody doing?
Man. Good day.
Always, always, always.
What else could we be with no one understands us but we? You were the first to take. Big T. I'm out.
Here we go like that.
I wanna be down with you. Like that. I wanna be down. If your girl only knew that you was trying to get in me, what would she do?
We waiting on Bree.
Girl only knew that you was dissing her to talk to me. She will probably leave you alone. Probably curse you out and answer her phone. I bet she'd be glad that she was gone. She wouldn't have to worry. If your girl only knew that I won't.
Yeah, we waiting on Bree.
With you, if she knew.
We waiting on Bree. I can't hear you. You just talking.
I guess so. I don't know. I mean,
oh, okay. All right, we'll talk through it. If not, then it's cool. We got 2 women on here who got kids, so you know y'all can talk about it. The Webster. Come on, give it to her.
Yes.
What we doing?
Pray on, girl. Come on.
Pray, Lord.
Okay, can you silence your music, please?
Oh my God.
Love it, Webby.
Claire Huxtable.
Father God, I want to thank you for allowing us to have another opportunity to share your word and that we represent you in the best way possible in all times, Lord. Thank you again for this gathering. Guys, Lord, I pray that as we talk tonight, that you are shown through us, and that we reach someone who is going through something or just needs a word of advice, Father God, that we are able to touch their spirit and be a sounding bar for them, Father God. And in Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Amen, boo.
Put me on the spot.
What you mean put you on the spot? Come on now. Look, I can't be the only one know how to pray on the show. Jesus is in the earth. How about that? Jesus is in the earth. All right, let's get down. Think real slow. Breezy or something. Looking like you just trying to.
It's official. It's
We're here for a particular reason.
Time to put the kids to bed.
And that reason is
It's time for the full 180.
Yep, what it is, what it ain't, and what's going on. You know what time it is. It's time for another edition of the Full 180. I'm your shooter, DJ TRWKY. I got the little Webby, aka the dictionary, in the building. Of course, administration, Christina Roy, all the way from the land of Wakanda. Thank you for the bow, man. I knew he was gonna get it. Hope you had an excellent Tuesday, a terrific Tuesday. It is time to get it in once again on a whole new hot topic. First and foremost, let's go through a little bit of thing that's going on. I got some updates. Well, I got some things like say you can use, sometimes you don't need to use. But to all my fellas, I'm gonna put you on something, put you on game right now. There's a Black family-owned vineyard winery in Texas. It's 50 minutes away from Fort Worth, Edge of Lake Vineyard. Now, it is Black owned. You can go look it up, man. When I tell you, like, they are out there making wine, like Lucille Ball crushing grapes with feet.
No,
But they have a very, but they have a very fine dining area. You see it at the bottom right with that luxury pool, man. I plan on doing this real soon to take that road trip. So, fellas, if you try to look for that cool date night or date weekend, put them kids, you know how we say on Friday, F them kids, put them kids to sleep and send them to the grandmama house, let them watch them. And man, look, just take a trip for the weekend, bro, to the winery and just max and relax and reconnect, have a conversation, communicate, you know, find out what's on their mind, do what you need to do. Get your rekindle on if that's what you need to do. Also, I got to give a big shout out to, y'all know she has done it again. And Lil Webby, say her name.
Katanji.
Thank you so much. I don't like messing up people's names, but we have a U.S. Supreme Court justice on the front line by Miss Katanji, man. I'm very proud of her, man. Look, women are doing big things. I love it. Applaud to all you women. I had to do this too because, you know, Mother's Day is slowly around the corner. So I definitely want to make sure I give her shine, man. Definitely proud of that young lady. Look at here. You know, I do this thing called What's Your Reaction, right? So let's do this. I got a couple of them. I want us to go through for a minute. So let's play this one.
First video I came across, but the reason why I feel like their system works and they're very successful in their relationship, having 10 years of marriage and 5 kids, is for this reason. When a woman is actually fully feminine, right, and she's not operating in a masculine energy, she's not challenging the man. And when a man is fully masculine, that's when it worked in a certain type of way. But there's more to it, though. It seems like it's more effective on the woman than it is on the man. I'm learning these things because I'm a married man myself, and I've been married for 3.5 years, going on 4 years very soon. And my wife, I've been blessed with a wife that's fully feminine, right? Like, she doesn't challenge me. She's respectful to me. It's a lot of things. It was a lot of praying, it took me a long time to get a woman like that. Like, I got married at age 28. I'm 32 right now. So I took my time as far as like the type of woman I chose that I was actually going to commit to and marry. I took my time with that because most women are just, well, you already know, you know, the type of content I make and stuff like that. They mindset wise, they're just not there. And it's all a mindset. But when a woman is fully feminine and she's not challenging a man's masculinity and she's really like allowing herself to, you know what I'm saying, be led by the man and stuff like that, it's like the level, like, especially if a man is truly a masculine man, and he's not on some beta male scent type stuff, it seems like the level of respect that woman has for that man, it's like, it's almost like an admiration. Sometimes it could be an infatuation. And it seems like that love is like long lasting, almost like everlasting. The point I'm making is that feminism and the way that this country has structured this society for females has really destroyed a lot of the possibility of having a good family household with women. I know a lot of women are chasing careers and stuff like that, but women are actually at their happiest when they have a family with a man that's truly a masculine man, and she's feminine to that man, meaning she's not challenging that man. Women are at their happiest. There's been studies done, but I've like watched different shows on where women like who are career oriented and they're successful and they're 40 and 45 years old, they regret it. Like they wish that they had a family. They regret chasing that career like that. Women and men are wired totally different. Us men, we're ambitious. We want to go out in the world. We want to conquer. We want to build. We want to plant our seeds. That's how men are. Women are more like, they're more nurturers. They're more nesters. They rather, you see what I'm saying? And as much as they like to try to go against that, that's just not really in their nature. It's not going to make them happy. It's not going to fulfill them. So the point I'm making is the reason why I feel like this woman seems like she's very happy. I mean, she seems very happy. The reason why I feel like she's very happy is because she's fully allowing herself to be feminine. She probably comes from a good structure too, though. She probably comes from a good family, household, family background where the mother and father was there and they had a good relationship. And she comes from that structure. So it's just like, it's just natural for her to operate in that. She most likely found a good man who's very masculine, handles his business, takes care of his family, and allows her to be fully feminine. So that's all. What I want to say is, there's a lot of, I still think there's hope in relationships with women. I think the mindset of the woman plays a huge part, So yeah, hopefully.
All right. What's your reaction?
Stop. My eyes twitching. Webby,
If you got a reaction online, you can chat your reaction as well. I'll make sure.
Webby, you want to go first? Because you might have more appropriate responses than I might.
Why is that though? Anyway,
because I'm ignorant. I'm that hit all five good nerds.
The problem that I'm having with his statement, I don't. Okay, it's too much.
Webby,
I don't necessarily disagree with femininity and masculinity. I don't necessarily disagree with that because there has to be a balance in the relationship, regardless. But the problem that I'm having is just to assume that all women are chasing families and white picket fences. Everybody don't want that. And they don't. Everybody don't want that. And to say that women are at their happiest, because there's a lot of women I know who have families and they not happy.
Is that their fault? Is that their fault?
It doesn't matter. They're just not.
Matter? Why they're not happy?
Because their passions were unfulfilled.
Something wasn't met.
Yeah, go ahead, Webby. Because
that was a good segue. Just because you have a family and you're nurturing, so you're supposed to forget about what you want to do and your passions and your ambitions. And then he went on to say that only men are ambitious and that the only thing women want to do is lay up and have babies and families.
Nest.
We've evolved.
That was your interpretation. That was in your interpretation. Okay.
Nest. He said
that's cool.
He said nest. I'm gonna, directly quote him. Full femininity. Okay. Full femininity. I have given birth. I've got my full femininity. I don't need no more feminine than that. That is feminine enough for me. I am ambitious. I am bold. I am beautiful. The back of a Black woman is bent because she has been holding up her Black man. So this sounds like a young man who needs less of a woman so he feels like more of a man. He needs her to be to tone down her energy to tone down, less of a woman, so he can feel like more of a man, because a real woman challenges her husband. That's biblical. A real woman will
tell me where it was biblical she challenged her husband.
Because if a Proverbs 31 woman is going to get up and she has to follow an upright man, if he is not just and he is not upright, she has every right not to follow him and to call him on that. That's part. Okay. If God made man and woman to balance each other out, there's going to be times where your man is not always right, and you're going to have to slowly guide him your nurturing way, obviously.
Oh.
You can't be.
But that doesn't.
But see, what we said is the problem. That's the problem. That's the problem.
What's the problem?
That's a whole nother problem. It's how you. I said it. I made this whole video Sunday because I thought it was necessary. There's behaviors that have to change. I can't talk to either one of y'all like y'all boo-boo on the wall. And I don't want to say the other word. So why you think you can run your mouth and talk to me the same way?
I
have no problem with you correcting me, but understand there's more than two ways to skin a cat, cliche.
Well,
and there's two different ways of thinking. I'm never gonna think like you, Christina. And
no,
I should never expect you to think like me.
Right.
But your opinion in our relationship will matter. How you may see it one way, I may see it another way. It does not make either one of us wrong. But the problem is when you have, matter of fact, let me play this and this is what I mean right here. Hold on.
It's a lot for me to hold.
She was saying that she don't care if she's turning up with her friends. If her man calls.
Oh, wrong one. Go ahead. I'm gonna play something else. Go ahead.
Okay. So sometimes, and I see this in therapy, you have these men who have been overmanaged by women or overmanaged by mothers, and they have their own bitterness and their own issues and so they want to project that onto others.
Oh, that's a very good word.
There are studies that exist that truly examine the dynamic of the working woman. And let us take this one step further. A lot of the women are thrust into these ambitious, corporate America thrusting roles because men left. Let's be correct.
True.
Let's call a spade a spade. Men are not, if men were, there are over 53% of women are single mothers. That they didn't do that by themselves. And many of these women would have loved for a man to stay around and help them raise a kid. Would have loved to be a nurturer. But like I have said before, I have repeatedly said this before. You want me to be your queen, be a king. Don't move me. You move me into a castle. Don't move me into a moat. He projects all these things of what a woman is supposed to be, What about what a man is supposed to be? And then too, why cannot respect go both ways? The way that he's speaking of his wife, if I was his wife, I would be appalled, because ambition, drive, character, those are all things that are valuable in a human. Those are things that you want to be able to infuse in your children. You don't want to raise a doormat. God forbid this man have daughters. I can tell the truth that he has not sired any children, because had he sired a child, his voice might be a little bit different. He sounds very young, very jaded, very skewed,
very dumb,
very limited in his experience. And he sounds like he needs some more therapy, because if he really, everything he's saying, I need women to be less of themselves so that I feel more of a man, so that I as a man can feel more masculine, because it really works when she takes a back seat and it makes me feel younger. That's what I hear.
I don't think it takes. Okay, cool, Bree. I don't think he wants her to take a back seat though. I don't
he definitely don't want her to ride in the front and say nothing.
Oh, okay. Ride in the front and say nothing. I hate you so much now.
I mean, because it's taking everything for me to put my masculine energy away.
I got it for you. Thank God Bree has done it, but I mean, the rest of y'all, y'all still searching to try to do it. Hold on. I got one more, and then you can jump right into it. And then here you go.
Put it away.
but you have managed. But you have managed it. I don't have a problem. The whole now. I will say that it does take a mindset. Behaviors have to change. Your mindset has to change, and your focus has to change. Period. It has to. Even with a dude, you can't be in something serious and think you still can do the same stuff you used to do. There's no way in hell. And then you expect. So I'm gonna stay out all night, and then I'm gonna expect you to be cool. Be coming in at 3 o'clock in the morning
because I'm a man.
Nigga, when is that? And then vice versa.
I'm planting my seed.
But it's vice versa. Females have the same issue in the same thought process. What I got out of what he was saying was they're not combative. She allows him to leave the house. And I'm going to just assume, because I don't know, I'm assuming he's humble enough. Or let me speak for me. I'm humble enough to tell you if I'm wrong. And if your way is right, I have no problem with that. But what you cannot do is...
First video I came across, but the reason why I feel like their system works and they're very successful in this relationship, having 10 years of marriage, 5 kids.
Go ahead.
Basically, I'll find it and play in a minute. Because the woman needs to sit back and shut up. That's what I think.
But that's not it. It's nothing about you sitting back and shutting up.
No ambition. Ambition is drive and wanting more for yourself. He said nesting. He said these are things that docile creatures do. Docile creatures nest. Apex predators don't. I'm sorry, I'm a shark out the gate. I ain't ever gonna change. Nesting. That bothers me. And I don't like the fact that my ambition and my drive is equated to a masculine trait only. Since when does that mean only men can have ambition and drive and only men are worthy of the respect in the relationship? There are men who subscribe to his pattern of thinking that call their women bees to their face because they feel like that is where a woman's place is. That's too close to his speech is too close to a woman's place is. That's my problem. He is trying to put us in a certain category and we don't fit that.
And women don't do that, Ms. Roy?
Women, we have to vary ourselves. We have to. But men some men who are misogynistic.
Yes, I agree with that. Misogynistic men.
We are just now getting to where women are in the forefront and it's okay for women to have an opinion. We are just now getting into that. And the leaders of that have been a lot of Black women.
I would have loved to have picked his brain personally because I need more clarification. Especially when he said, men are ambitions and women are nesters. So is that my only purpose in life is to nest?
For you? Thank you. To be your
it came out very
misogynistic,
very demeaning. They may have not been his intentions, which is why I'm saying I personally would have wanted to have a conversation with him just so I can get clarity, which would then lead me to my response.
But I mean, he is saying a woman's place. He is because he's saying women should. He said women are happier at home. They're happier.
That's not true. That's so not true.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. He is basically saying a woman's place. Dude.
So let me ask you, y'all know in nature, most of the time we don't just use a lion. The lion. The lioness goes out and hunts for the food. She kills the prey and brings it back. So would you call that nesting or would you call that ambition?
Exactly.
She's going out, she's contemplating, she's hiding, she's calculating how she's going to kill this animal and bring it back home. While he sit up and just make babies and fight when he needs to fight. So what would we call that?
I laughed because he said you got a masculine man, not a beta man. I thought about you, Brick.
Oh, I forgot, guys. Let us not be. Yes. Today's show is brought by Hot Hands Warmers.
Oh my God. Thank you, man.
Just
thank you.
When
When
it's time to bring the heat, Hot Hands got you.
thank you so much.
It sounds like this dude needs some hot hands because he tripping.
I got some hot hands.
So it almost came off like he devalued women. Again, that may have not been his intentions, but that's what it came off. So it came off that he cannot himself be with a strong woman. Just because I'm strong, that does not mean that I lack femininity. Just because I want a career does not mean that I don't want a home and a family.
That part.
Okay. So I finally got it. So let me play this and then I will stop.
Why is the water soapy?
No cap, a lot of y'all relationships is just like this.
Lemon pepper. It's onion powder. Onion powder.
Why is the water soapy? Huh? What did you do? I said wash the fucking chicken. What is this?
What you mean? I'm washing it.
Taekwon, why is there soap in the chicken?
Taekwon.
Tom, why is there soap in the chicken? Are you retarded?
How are you supposed to wash the chicken?
You rinse it off with cold water. You not put this soap in the.
That's all the way wrong.
You didn't say that,
bro. Are you retarded? Your mom called. You done my dinner up, bro. Like this mom like doing shit with you. I asked you to do one thing. I ain't say soak the chicken up, wash it like dishes. I said wash it.
Stood out to me most about the whole entire video, and there's a whole bunch of things that stood out, but it was the way she was talking to him, bro. Mm-hmm. She was talking to him like that was her son. She was talking to him like he was a little kid, like a little 8, 9-year-old, 10-year-old kid. It's a grown man. Now he could have been playing around with her and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure she didn't think it was a joke. She didn't think it was funny. All that money they done spent on that chicken that he wanted to do, wash it with soap. I don't know if it was a prank or not, but what I was watching, it seemed like that was her genuine reaction.
Yeah.
And if she's reacting like that, that means she reacts like that all the time when she's mad at him.
Right.
I think it's unacceptable, personally. I wouldn't tolerate a woman talking to me like that. But also, too, I don't talk to women like that either myself. Like, you're not going to talk to me like a little kid. If I made a mistake or I did something that was, you know what I'm saying, like genuinely made a mistake or I didn't do it right, you don't talk to me like I'm a kid. Like, who is is that even a relationship? That seems more like just, it's like the woman doesn't look at him as her equal. All because you're angry at him don't mean you got to talk to him like that. And a lot of dudes are in relationships like this, especially in my community. And I think it's pretty sad, but I wanted to point it out because a lot of y'all think it's normal and it's not.
No, that's
not.
No
female should be treating any dude like that.
Person.
And if she does, she really lacks respect for you, to be honest. No. You know how you should have handled the situation? He should have been like, look, I understand you're frustrated, but don't disrespect.
So go back to the first one. All that stuff y'all was saying a while ago.
No. See, Greg, let me clear up something real quick. First and foremost, I never have spoken to another human being in that manner. That's just wrong as a person. That's wrong whether we two girls, whether we two guys. It's wrong to talk to your kids that way. That's disrespectful. That's wrong. It's venomous. It's hateful. There's a lot of problems with her as a person, as an angry person. I'm not putting a gender on this. Right. There are a lot of women that come from that.
Me neither.
They talk from that.
Not either.
But that is wrong for a person. And as we get into conversating about kids, I would never talk to my kids that way. Are you stupid? Are you retarded? That's just no. You don't talk to anybody that way. Anyone.
But you say you want to all that y'all was saying earlier. That was my point. She's not combative. She knows how to communicate. She knows how to talk. That's what I got out of his first interview. I mean, his first conversation. However they do it, it worked for them two people that he was talking about. Cool. And then how it works for him. He said what works for him. One, you need to find out what works for you. But my point is, you cannot expect me to treat you like you mine if you talk to me like that.
That's anybody.
No, but there are people who do not understand that, period. Mm-hmm. There's no understanding with me, period. If you don't know how to talk, and every time I talk to you, we have to talk like that, then don't talk to me.
We shouldn't talk.
And then my point is, we expect stuff. We expect people to treat us a certain way, but then you want to be treated like you a damn angel. It don't work. That you quit expecting stuff that you can't give. And then you want to play woe is me. Ain't that what you say, Lil Webby? Woe is me. And then you start doing what Bree said. Well, not Bree, but what y'all said earlier. Then you start projecting all your issues on somebody else when it's really you. Mm-hmm. But you don't never want to deal with you at all, point blank, period. Which is why I use it as a motivational quote today. And it's not gender specific. It's for everybody. It amazes me how some people can pinpoint everything wrong about you. But when it comes to correcting themselves, the pen don't ever work.
Mm. That is true.
So my thing is, I'll never put a woman in a situation of you need to bow down to me. No, it's a team thing. It don't work without you. So I have to bounce stuff off of you. But if we want to keep this like real biblical, the head, God talks to man, man talks to woman. In my opinion, the head can't go too far without the neck. And I call the neck the woman. And if they go two different ways, then you broke. You got to get it back together. Behaviors have to change. What he said earlier, your mindset has to change. You can't keep doing same old BS and think somebody's going to put up with it. I don't care who you are, man, woman, dog, kid, whatever. True. It don't matter. No one's going to put up with it. So how do you believe? I'm not going to sit here and think Bree is in a relationship. I know Bree. I know Bree had to change a whole lot of things about her just to be in that relationship. Just from what I know. And I'm definitely proud of, because it's a big thing for her. Because she has been that independent woman. She has taken care of everything, taken care of the kids and everything else. But now you have somebody in the house that can lead you. Allow him to lead you. It don't have to be a combatant all the time. Quit thinking I'm thinking like you. I can't think like you. And I don't expect you to think like me. But if we form a narrative together and we learn how to be committed and communicate, I think we can have something like Bree got, and it can blossom. You can have something like Lil Webby got, and it can blossom. But you have to be willing to do it. Even with these kids. Good segue. Let's go, Roy.
And you know, I'm from the vein of relationships of all types, because you just don't talk to people a certain way. I have taken a lot of flack for how I choose to raise my kids. I wanted to have this conversation because we always talk about having real conversations, and we talk about how our parents set us down and they had real conversations with us. Well, I have real conversations with my kids. And so I wanted to highlight, just share some things, bounce our minds off of each other about how we share our kids. And I also wanted to touch base on how some people who have no kids, who have reared no kids, or who have not worked in education, choose to make commentary on how we have to meet the needs of today's children.
Didn't we just have this conversation?
We so did. Oh my God. When she said it, I was like,
Roy, that burns my biscuits to a crisp that probably can't even be seen on planet Earth.
And then she talked and then she gonna tell y'all about how these women raising these boys. But go ahead.
Oh, you want to know the for the next show? Can I say those words?
You can say it. You can say it now. You ain't gotta wait till the next show.
Pop your titty out of my mouth, mama.
I have a bookmark that I give
Can
parents.
you elaborate? Go ahead. You just can't give statements and don't elaborate. We do content and context, baby.
I'm so sick and tired of mamas, and I am a mother. Granted, I am not a mother of a son. I'm a mother of a daughter. But I'm so sick and tired. I am of mothers, not all, some who baby their sons and then want to pass them off to these women when you didn't do anything to prepare. All you did was keep your titty in their mouths and pacify them. You did not hold them accountable for their bad behavior. You just said, oh, this my baby. No, ma'am, he's not a baby. He's 40. He's not a baby. He's not a baby.
I
and he knows where that comes from, but yeah.
Webby, I want to support you in this 100,000, 30,000 billion%. I don't even know that's a number, but I just want to support you. I have a client that I see, and one of the concerns came up. There was an argument between herself and her mother over the house and the will and things like that. And the mother expected my client to keep up the payments on the house and make sure the house stayed in the family so that the son, the older brother, would always have a place to live.
That is a problem. Let me tell you something. God rest my Uncle Stowe. I miss him dearly. I think he came to visit me today because that's the whole different thing. But anyway, no, because the old folks say that when Red Robins come visit, there's someone from the dead.
Okay.
You can look it up. Dead serious. My uncle, beloved uncle, did not live on his own till he was well in his 50s.
I believe
because his parents, my grandparents, his sisters, my mother, and my aunts babied that man until he left this earth. He was in a 13-year relationship, never married that woman because she also enabled his behavior.
That's the word.
So would you, okay, so they took care of him. So you would say he was spoiled, is that what you're saying?
No, he was babied and enabled.
Okay.
Enabled.
So so I know you're so fluently talk about dudes, but is that gender specific or is just it's in your experience?
Well, Webby, I'll let you address it and then I'll backdoor.
We're talking specifically about men being babied and enabled. So can women be enabled and spoiled as well? Yes, but it looks very different.
Yeah.
So why? Okay, so explain the difference before I tell you.
Because of the double standard. Because of the double standard.
Thank you, Bree.
No. You can't drop Mike yet.
Let me
go ahead. Go ahead. I'm gonna drop it.
No,
drop it. Go ahead.
You haven't heard my explanation with. Yeah.
Let me go into that. And I'm gonna say the reason why it looks different is because of this so-called reality of what a woman is supposed to be and what a man's supposed to be. And so when a woman, when we are treated like we treated like queens by our fathers, we treated like princesses by our fathers. It's a problem when it comes to the man because now he feel like, she wants too much. She's too needy and stuff like that. So when it all comes with the role. When I say double standard, it does look different. So for a man, if he's supposed to be the king, he can't be the king and the baby at the same time.
Absolutely not.
I don't disagree with that.
There's one thing though that makes any woman not a baby anymore, and that's childbirth. Childbirth. And
I'm gonna tell you right now, that's BS.
I'm gonna tell you why. I have seen the biggest princesses, the biggest, refill it and do it again. My princess just now is in the kitchen having to finish up dinner, but I've seen princesses have to come to reality when they're forced to become mothers. Not all women make that transition. Not all women do, but many many princesses, many spoiled girls become women because of that. But there are men who are not, there's nothing that makes a man be a man. There's nothing that like forces it. If a woman has enabled him and something has, and it's been a cycle of enabling, there is no outside force that just says, be a man all of a sudden. Whereas when women give birth, there is an outside force that says, be a woman now. That's what I'm saying. That's the vein that I'm saying. There is no pressure greater than pushing a life out of you and looking at it and saying, dude, I have something to do with this. Now, they're trifling mothers. There are tons of trifling women. There are tons of trifling mothers. I know, because I got my beautiful daughter because of a trifling mother. So I say that there are situations where women will be thrust out of that spoiled role when they become mothers. They have to, but not all.
I think there are other situations that arise that'll force women to grow up. Yes, childbirth is one, being a mother is one, being married is one, life being thrown at you very unexpectedly causes people to grow up. But when I'm talking about these men being enabled, and I was in a 5-year situation where his mother never held him accountable for his bad behavior and then expected me to do the same thing.
Pick it up and keep it going.
To keep it going. And we have not been together in almost 4 years, and him and his mother continue to look for me.
So why I call BS on all what y'all saying? You saying there's nothing that makes a man grow up to be a man? You just said it. Childbirth. You have to grow up. We ain't talking about these Rudy Poop brothers today. And I ain't saying everybody. But that is back at me growing up, that is an issue. When you have kids, bro, time for you to get on it.
But that's a choice, though. They can choose.
That's how it was in mine.
They can choose not to say.
The women,
that's the dudes
don't
now. There are the dudes now.
No, that's the dudes forever.
No, it ain't. Because I can tell you now, nobody.
Go back to the 15-year-old mother back in the day. Go to the 14-year-old mother back in the day when her husband is 20-something, 30-something years old. She has had this baby when they had babies at 14 and 15 years old. She becomes a woman, period. A man can choose to stay out and work all day long and don't have nothing to do with them kids and don't do nothing but bring home a check, or he can choose to come home and be a father and help that woman take care of those kids. But when a woman this is saying what Ms. Roy was saying, a woman, when she has a baby, she's a woman, period.
Yep. And I mean, and you are connected to that child. There is no, men have a choice from conception to leave and spread their seed elsewhere. Women, for at least 38 to 40 weeks, you are connected. Your body, your mind, your soul, your everything, your nutrients, everything goes to that child. That changes you.
Right. And yes, and I understand what he was trying to say is that also for men, it should be a transitional phase for you. But I'm not saying it's being biased as a woman, but the man, yes, he provides the sperm, but the woman is the house for that child. And that's why they always.
And that's all understandable. I'm not negating any of that, but both of them have to step up at that time. Both of them. I know it does not happen, or I know people with baby daddies more than two. And yes, some of these dudes didn't step up. They still not stepping up. That's understandable. I'm with that. But in the retrospect, if we talk about the real brother, that is when the real brother needs to step up. That is when you have a real father at home, and your father said, I can't even talk for me. My daddy was there, but he wasn't there. And if you know me, you know what I'm talking about. My mother told me a long time ago, you have one, step up and take care of it. I had to step up even when I was dating a female. That's who taught me about my mother, my grandmother, my aunt. My aunt don't play no games. She fight, she swing first, talk later. My mother is the talker. My grandmother, what comes up comes out. Now, is it always right? No. But I was raised by strong women.
But so that's the point.
I have a strong attitude now.
But you see what you're saying, Greg? What you see? You're saying your mother, your aunt, your grandmother, all these women have taught you those roles. What Christina was saying is that you're not forced. You're taught. Men are taught to take that role. They are not forced.
And my grandfather was instrumental in my life. And my grandfather made his boys
I understand what you're saying.
To step up and take care of business.
So, but you still were taught.
It is a time where a man had to step up and be a man.
But you were still taught that. You were still taught that. You learned that.
It's
okay.
Let me say, it's inborn, and I just pulled up some data. Over 2/3 of men at some point depart from the role of fatherhood. Over 2/3 of men.
We're talking about now?
2/3, yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, wait a minute.
There's some reasons why.
Okay, let me say this. And question: do men have babies?
No, ma'am.
Physically?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so we're gonna
talk have one without one.
In the no. In the most simplest form, who has the baby? Who has the baby?
That's the woman has the baby.
Okay, so that's why these 3 women that are sitting on this panel who have delivered children, regardless, well, it is a regardless. When you have a child, you are considered a woman by definition. Now, do we all act like women after we have children? Absolutely not. And yes, a man should, when his woman, girlfriend, baby mama, whoever they get pregnant and they're gonna have a baby, yes, there should be a transitional phase to step up and be a man. But at the end of the day, they have a choice because they do not share the same emotional connection with a mother and their child.
And I'm going to further that. The reason why I want to further that is because my daughter's my oldest daughter. And this is poignant to me because I was a wife. I was a feminine wife. I was a nester. I was all of that. My first marriage, I did that. And my first husband witnessed the birth of my C-section, was there as she came into this world. Ask me where he is now. And I'm saying not all men are like that, but there is a vast majority of men who can sit there and actually see the child come out. And you know what's even more time legally? When my daughter was born, she was born 6.5 weeks early. They gave me all of the paperwork to sign if she didn't make it. They didn't even ask me, because even though I was married, even though I was married, they didn't even say, does your husband get to sign? No, the responsibility lies within, it's like possession is 9/10 of the law. The possession of the child is inside of the woman, so the woman has to sign all the documentation. That's you.
I'm sorry.
What?
I'll make sure y'all can hear me because all this technical stuff started.
Yeah, mine did too. Yeah. So finer signing says both should step, but they don't have to. Most of the time, men don't have to. She said, yes, going. I don't know, I'm just saying, yes, going to work is not necessarily becoming a man. I believe, I don't think that either. But she said this has been throughout time. What up, Jeff? And then this says she said this is not dudes now. About what we're talking about. My whole thing is we make that a double standard. We both have to step up. A true dude. I ain't talking about you ragged ass niggas. I'm talking about these true dudes. Get out your head about what's going on there. I can't help these simple-minded ass niggas now. Excuse my French. I'm talking about, I can only speak for me. I'm a step up in the relationship, period. I'm gonna step up when I have my child, period. I'm gonna step up while we even dating, period. I'm always guilty of giving women wifely roles while I'm dating you. You know why? Because if you can't see I could be your husband now, what make you think I'm gonna be your husband later? That's crazy.
That's so, you. Not a lot of you.
And I can only speak for me. I can't speak for some of the simps that y'all done gave all that good to, and now they not around. I can only speak for me. I've been married. I've been married to somebody who has 4 kids. Neither one of them are mine, right? Treat them all like mine. And I said to her, don't expect you, and Webby is right. You have an emotional connection to these kids. Yes, you do. Don't expect me to love them like you love them, because there's a difference. I love your kids, and I'm going to take care of these kids because these are my kids. I don't believe in step. As Clint, I tell him all the time. Every time he say my stepson, I said, no, that ain't your stepson. That's your son, because you married his mother. Step ain't in the Bible, so that's your son, bro. So those are my kids. I treat them like they were my kids. But every time we had an issue and she got upset, they slowly became her kids and not mine. See, now we playing this game.
Okay, can I chime in?
Go ahead, man.
So I hear you. I don't disagree with what you're saying. But what we're trying to convey, and ladies, you can jump in, disagree, whatever. And I don't share this story very publicly, but I'm going to share it anyways. So I had a miscarriage when I was married. And I didn't know that the baby was no longer growing and all this other stuff. Went to an ultrasound, there was no heartbeat, all this stuff. My ex at the time was not with me, called him, told him about it, whatever. So we went through the whole process of having the miscarriage, DNC, and all that. A lot of emotions going on for anybody who's had a miscarriage. Can't believe I'm sharing this story.
Yep.
And my husband at the time told me, well, he was growing resentful towards me because he said he felt like he couldn't grieve because he was so focused on my feelings. And I felt so terrible that he would even part his lips to tell me such a thing. And what I told him was, how dare you? Because I'm not negating your feelings, but at the end of the day, that was me who laid up on that table and watched a dead baby at the ultrasound. That was me who had anesthesia to be put to sleep for them to not only scrape the baby out, but suck the baby out. That was me. That was not him.
Right.
So he wasn't supposed to hurt.
I didn't say that.
All I'm saying to you is that did happen. I understand the trauma, and I'm gonna use a friend of mine.
You don't understand the trauma.
Hold on, hold on. Let me go. Let me say this.
Before you say that, Christina, before you say all that, just so you'll know, and so we can all be transparent, baby, mine had a miscarriage.
But
I didn't know it. I didn't know it until after the fact. But I didn't do what he did.
Please let me say
what
this.
He did, but it affected me just like it affected her.
And that's where I have to disagree, because just like let's say this. Okay, I never had this situation happen to me, but that situation will never leave Lil Webby. Never. That the heartbeat that she felt, that movement that she felt, or anybody who's gone through that will never leave. That feeling of child growing inside you, you cannot say you felt it just like the other person felt it. It's not even possible. Because if it ever happened to me and the man, he gone, I don't talk to him no more, he didn't move on with his life, I still would live with that. Lil Webby would still live with that for the rest of her life.
So I don't disagree with that. But wait, to say that you felt these same feelings is not okay, because you didn't. You had your own set of grief and I had mine. But to insinuate that we experience the same feelings is not okay.
So when it happened, did you? So when it happened, did you hurt?
Hers, it's just not the same. It's not saying that your feelings aren't valid.
Point. That is my whole point. We felt the same hurt in two different ways.
But you didn't.
Yes, we did. I was hurt.
Your hurt was different.
I lost a goddamn kid. She was
Your
hurt
hurt was
because
different.
they had to go through the actual procedure of that happening. I get that whole point. But both people hurt, but it's just not the same. I watched a friend of mine I work with. He was messed up, like for at least a week. For a week, he couldn't even concentrate at work over this. He was hurt. I'm not saying they have the same feeling. I know it's not, but you have the hurt, because just like that was her child, that was his child as well.
But the point I think that Webby and I will make, because when my son passed, I was by myself when I gave birth. You know, I saw that the trauma of seeing.
That's messed up.
I saw him by myself. I passed him by myself. I had to call for my ex-husband. He did not see what I saw. So his hurt is totally different. That my soul, I felt my son's soul leave. I felt him leave. You will never feel that. And God, that is God's design. That is
right. And so
I'm not debating.
That is why Jesus was born of woman. That is why, and that is you. I mean, I understand that it hurts. I understand it's hard, but it's real different hearing about a car accident than being in the car accident.
I can't hurt you. That's apples and oranges. But go ahead.
That's not what I'm saying is I was not negating my ex's feelings. What I'm saying is what we felt was different. He was never going to feel what I felt, nor was I going to feel what he felt. My problem that I was having with him is that he blamed me for not being able to grieve.
And that's a problem. I totally agree with that part. I don't disagree with that at all. That's a problem. He shouldn't have blamed you at all. It ain't like you did it on purpose. But what I'm saying is you both hurt in two totally different ways. It's just like a breakup. You both hurt in two different ways. And too many times, because, and I've heard from women, he ain't worried about it. He'll just move on to somebody else. You don't know how you hurt him. Yes, a lot of people, even men and women, have made other people their casualties because they are broke. You have hurt somebody. You have scarred them for life. And now we having issues with relationships between our culture right now. That young lady that was just talking, she's hurt. Why is she hurt? Because somebody she gave her heart to probably did her dirt. And now she has this other dude. Now he's a casualty to her hurt. Because now you're talking reckless. Vice versa. Dudes do the same thing. Dudes we protect ourselves by being players.
But I bet you
we don't put our heart out there.
I don't think that young lady had a dad in the home. Because another thing I would like to say is this: we learn how to treat people by what we see. I've taught my daughters, don't put your hands on your man. Don't do that, because you put yourself into a situation.
Mm-hmm.
Baby, what do I say about play fighting? Hey, speak up. Come on.
Oh.
What's up, Niecy?
Hey.
This is my baby. This is Caitlin. America, that's Caitlin.
Oh, well, she just said that it gets too far and that it leads to actual fighting, like actual conflict.
And so as a mother, I check mine. And I have that conversation because this one ain't gonna come home and say, my boyfriend punched me in the eye. And then I find out later she done put her hand all up in his face and then cussed him out and called him a sorry son. I'm gonna be like, well, baby, I'm so sorry. Mama had told you when you poke that bear, sometimes them bear lash back out.
You get bit.
And that's because I was a mom and I did that. And I didn't grow up with a father. Nobody, and so I didn't know how to treat me. I had to observe other women, and luckily I was groomed well enough with enough common sense. We don't treat people badly, so yeah, I don't talk that way. But when I heard that young lady talk, the first thing in my mind was, I bet you there was no one ever there to check her mouth, to check her behavior as a individual. You just don't treat people like that. Retarded, stupid. What else did she say? Ruined everything. Just those.
What did your mama teach you? What?
Those are things that tear people down. You don't say. We don't use. Webby, what we tell the little elementary kiddos: use your words nicely.
So let me ask you this. Let's twist it. What if you did have a mom and dad in the house and you still talk like that?
But then you probably grew up seeing
that. But if you didn't see your mom and daddy,
you got two trifling people that made these kids and made some trifling kids. That's basically what it is.
I'm gonna say this because just because you have both parents in the home don't mean that you was raised right.
I'm not saying, but I agree with you. But some people believe that this. Take for instance, let's just say a woman that's a daddy's baby, right? A woman that's daddy's baby. Well, so if my thing is, if you talk to me reckless, Webby, I'm gonna think, so you talk to your daddy like that? So if you don't talk to your daddy like that, then what you talking to me like that? Where'd you get that from? Who you been around?
These daddies teaching their daughters to do that.
Oh, okay. So then, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Some fathers, I guess they think they're trying to protect their daughters in a sense and teach them to stand up for themselves, which is great. I'm not saying daddy don't do that, but I don't think they teach them when it's a man of substance. There's some adjusting that should take place.
So I want y'all to explain that. Each one of y'all. What's a man of substance?
Okay, before we answer that question, I had a conversation.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
And he's raising a daughter, he's raising a son. And he believes in some really I wouldn't say untraditional because it was a tradition and it's probably still a tradition in some cultures. So I would say he said he's going to raise his daughter to be extra submissive and he's going to choose her man for her so that she knows that she's not supposed to work. Her only job is to serve him and to have his babies. That's how he's going to raise his daughter, and he's going to choose her husband for her. Now, in choosing this husband, he has to be a certain man of stature. He has to be a high-level man. He has to be a businessman. He has to dress well. He has to, be a certain age. He can't be under 30. So I said, so you're telling me you're going to raise your 18-year-old daughter you're going to raise your child to be 18 and to be married to a man that's 30, because he's saying he wants this man to be established. He has to have a house already. He has to have a career already. He has to have a lot of money and stuff like that. So he says, yes, he's raising his child at 18 and 19 to marry a man in his 30s.
Wow. Okay. That's all I can say to that. I ain't gonna tell no man. I'm just in this world, I'm scared for it.
Because that's the way women were raised back in the day. He said 15, 14-year-olds were raised only to marry and to have children. And then on top of that, he's almost in his 40s and he's seeking a woman fresh out for 18 and 19, maybe 21 at the oldest. because he wants to mold her into the type of woman that he wants her to be. She cannot just to serve him and to have babies. And I'm like, and then so going back on that, she's supposed to understand that he will have multiple women. When we're talking about raising, they're raising their kids. Some men are raising their girls to be like that. And so when I was going back to, we talking about, double standard and all that stuff, some girls are raised way different than boys. It's kind of like when you think about animals, I always go back to animals. The nature of the thing is when a female animal has a baby, she naturally goes into feeding the baby. Nobody teaches her how to do all that stuff. She just does it because it's an automatic thing. It's innate. You know what I'm saying? And the man, the thing that made the baby is somewhere off making another baby with another animal. You see what I'm saying? And so with all that being said, it's just like, that's just it's easier for a woman. I won't say easier. It's the norm for a woman to be forced into situations than a man. That's what I was gonna say earlier. A man is not necessarily forced. He actually chooses. He actually chooses to step up and be a good father. He chooses to have a career. He chooses to get out there and grind. He chooses to find a woman and make babies. You know what I'm saying? And a woman can choose the man ultimately to be with him. But when she left with the baby, she left with the baby. And that's when that's how people see the whole child support thing, or why the woman get the kid and why she get the child support. And I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong. It's just the way it is.
And I'm totally on the opposite end of that scale. Like, I'm not even on the scale. I'm still on the ground, because that's not how I was even introduced. That was introduced to me by a woman in my family or a man in my family. I don't have any words for that.
But the key word, Greg, is it was introduced. You were taught all of the things that you know as a man. You were taught that. But if a woman leaves home and she out on the streets and she have a baby, she gonna be forced to take care of that baby.
I never negated that point. My whole thing is that when we was just talking about when a brother got to step up. No. Yeah, that's you got to step up, bro. That's point blank, period. There's no way around it. And once again, I can only talk from where I was, from how I was raised in my household, around my siblings, whatever right now. All my cousins are the same way. Period.
You and your family.
Right.
But
this is the thing. But this is the thing what you said, Webby. You're right. That is me. But we, men and women, have passed up on good brothers because of this thing, because of things that happened to you before. We have passed up on good people because of that situation, and we're not actually we're not changing our behavior, and it's a two-way street. Each party has to change their behavior. Now, the ones that do it, I don't agree with. I'm never going to agree with, unless there was certain circumstances of why.
But
Go ahead, Wayne. My bad, I interrupted you.
It's okay, and I'm sorry, Bree. There is a larger percentage of men who are not taking care of their kids versus the small percentage of men who are choosing to step up and do what they need to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And I was going what you said, Greg. Yeah, a lot of people use those things as excuses, but at the end of the day, you have to choose for yourself. You have to choose to be different. And it's nobody's place to tell somebody else, especially when you're in a relationship with somebody. You can't tell somebody else, you know what, you need to figure it out. You need to choose. You need to this. You need to change. You need to that. They're going to have to do that on their own. You can choose to accept it and say, hey, I'm making myself better. You know what I mean? Or just do it. You don't even have to mention it. Sometimes you just have to change the energy by changing your moves you make. And people sometimes people don't have a choice but to either catch up with you or back off.
Right. Right. And I totally agree with that, because I do believe that everything isn't a $3,000 conversation. And sometimes just the change behavior can spark your mate to follow suit. Sometimes, especially if the two of you guys are in tune and this and that and the third, and it goes both ways, but also with your behavior can spark other bad behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
Because couples transfer energy all day long. Is what we do. So,
and that's actually in the Bible. As a woman, I don't know exactly where it is. My mom pointed this out to me when I was younger, but it says when it comes to marriage, of course, and it says sometimes the woman can change her husband by the way she moves, and that's Bible.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So
with that being said, so that means if you got an attitude, don't get mad because I got an attitude, because you just changed my mood.
But here's the deal: you could choose to let that make you have an attitude.
But
you choose the way you respond to it.
But choosing is a two-way street, right?
It is a two-way street, but you have to focus on you. You cannot control what the other person does. True. So if they have an attitude, you can choose to feed into that attitude or not feed into that attitude. You can't tell somebody, don't get mad when I get an attitude. You can't control how they get mad. You can't control their response just because you got an attitude. It's all a choice.
So you can't control, you're right, you can't control my response. Well, you say you can't control my response. So if your response to my question is in a negative way, how long are we gonna sit there until you don't get that response back?
Until somebody is the mature person, say, you know what, I'm not.
You said the word I wanted you to say. So guess what? When I'm talking to mine, I talk to mine in a mature way because I want to be talked to in a mature way. But that don't mean they are going to. True. Right. But if I talk to her crazy and call her out her name like that lady did, then I can't get mad if she give that same energy back to me.
You can.
And then I can't play.
It won't make sense.
I can't play victim, and I can't do that. Woe is me.
But what I'm saying is
what you put out is what you get back.
But that's still at the end of the day. But it's still a choice. See, I used to say all day, I'm a match energy. I'm a match energy. I'm a match energy. So you get it because you know what I'm saying. So, but that's what I'm saying. You saying you can't get mad. You can't. Yeah, they can get mad. They have every right to feel what they feel. But that's a choice that they made, and how long y'all decide to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Hey, somebody eventually gonna have to say, you know what, I ain't going back and forth with you. That's it.
And feeling ain't fact. So my whole thing is let's talk. If you want to be point blank, period. There is no, if you in any type of relationship, business, family, whatever. If you're trying to be in a committed relationship, you have to change your behaviors. You cannot talk reckless to whoever you with. You cannot treat them like they shit on your shoe. You cannot be little. You cannot. That does not work. You can't. And if you think that works, there's no way you can say you want to be in a relationship. You can't be in a relationship and think that you cannot, that you don't have to change. You're going to have to change.
That's the key.
I can't be this person that I used to be with this person because this is a totally different person. So there's certain things, and let's take the word change out because some people think that's such a negative word. Let's use the word compromise. There are certain things I'm going to have to compromise on. There are certain things that you just can't do, but there are certain things that you're going to have to compromise on. And if you really truly want to have a decent relationship, you're going to have to learn the art of communication. You got to get out of your head that you're always right. You're not always right. And as opinionated I know as I am, and y'all will attest to it.
Yes.
Even I can say I'm not always right. If I'm wrong, cool. Now I'm not gonna go back and forth
bite?
out the wild. What?
Did y'all record that soundbite?
Oh, it's already recorded, baby. Don't worry about it. I'll tell anybody that. I don't think I'm always right. But my thing is, women say it all the time. Hear me. And I think sometimes, even going back to the kids thing, we don't hear our kids.
No, we don't.
We don't listen. As adults, we do not listen because we think, well, I'm the adult, this, and that. And then we treat our relationships the same way. Just like when Webby was talking about these women treating you have women that treat they boys like they're their husband.
Yes. Oh my God.
But then you treat your husband like he your son. So you mean Johnny can get cooked for, but when I come home, I gotta find something?
That was the relationship that I came from. His mother treated him like he was the husband, and sorry, my chime is going off. And treated her husband like he was her son. Wanted to tell him what to do, how he was gonna do it, when he was gonna do it, and all this other type of stuff. But and then the dad ended up was like, "Hey, you're not gonna keep talking to me crazy." And lo and behold, son and daddy got into it. Guns were pulled out. Police was called. Who left the house?
The husband. Let me guess, the daddy.
The daddy.
Wow.
The daddy. Yep.
And that trips me out because so many of us always talk about I'm marriage material. I'm wifey material. No, you're not. No, you're not. I can't stand when dudes talk about, well, I'm husband material. Bro, no, you're not. If you husband material, tell me why you at this age, bro, and you still having issues. You still don't know how to communicate. You still don't know how to talk. Go ahead. Well, who's say something?
I'm sorry, that was me. Well, the problem is, and you and I have this conversation quite often, is that people like the idea of being a husband and being a wife. And in the dating phase, committed phase, courting phase, whatever you want to call it, and when they're asked to be accountable for said actions or communicate, step outside of your comfort zone, whatever that looks like for you, they don't want to do that. So then marriage and relationships no longer become appealing to them. But a lot of people are infatuated with being husbands and wives.
So would you say they're familiar? They like the familiar of having someone, but when it's time to do what it takes to actually be in a committed relationship, they don't do it.
It's not the familiarity.
Okay.
It's the idea.
Okay.
And sometimes it's just a label. Sometimes people get married because of the benefits of being married. Oh, you get a house because you're married. You can, you know what I'm saying? You get insurance because you're married. Some people just do it because it's convenient. You know what I'm saying? They don't really value the actual institution of what marriage is.
Right, absolutely.
Or respect the vows, period. I told Lil Webby, I seen something this weekend that just bothered me. Like totally bothered me. And I was just like, bro, I know we all human. Everybody has men and women. You're dating somebody in a relationship and you see other dudes. I see other women be like, man, she look good. But I don't want to talk to her. I got a whole woman at home. But I'm watching this and I'm just like, bro, you got a whole woman. It ain't like you got a bad woman. You got a whole woman at home. A whole woman at home. And you whole ass married. And I'm trying to figure out, what are you doing? That is crazy to me. And even for, like I said this, I did something on Instagram and Facebook when I was talking about you have to change your behavior, your mindset or whatnot. And I used it even with my job. But it was a lady where I was DJing at one time, and it was about 6 different ladies, right? And one lady, she was finna get up and go. It was like 11 o'clock, and it was some downtime, whatever. And one of her friends said something about, she said, oh, here she go, leaving home, going to play wifey. And that lady turned around and told her, that's the reason why you single now, because you ain't changed your behavior. You got a whole ass man at home and you trying to shut down the club. You got a whole ass man at home and you trying to hang out with us. I love y'all, but I'm finna go home to my dude. Because what she had at home and what she was building at home was more important than was in these streets. And it was so crazy, right? So after she left, and it, she said it loud too. And I'm looking like, oh my God. It was 6 ladies, right? That one left. The other 4 left right behind her and left the one by herself.
You go.
But she'll be the main one. Why am I not married? Why nobody don't want me? Because of you. Because of you.
And that's the key.
But you gonna make it all about everybody else. But it's because of you. I like that tattoo, bro. But you gonna make it about everybody else. But it's you. Everybody else is the problem but you. When do we go ahead? Oh, trust me. That's why I told the dude story first.
You pee whipped. She got you pee whipped.
Dude.
She got you hen picked. Yeah, that's the other one. That's what my grandma used to say. Oh, he hen picked.
I am, and guess when I go home? But when I go home, I get to lay something. I get to lay right next to something warm. I ain't got to be in it. It's mine. I can touch it, and I know where it's been. I know how long it's been here. It's been here waiting on me, bro. I'm excited. So guess what? At 11:30, 12 o'clock, deuces. I'm going to the house, player. Y'all ain't stay in these streets.
I'll take a pause for the calls.
Go ahead.
Bree, it is so lovely to see you.
Hey. Oh my God.
To see you.
The hardest working woman in the world.
All your glory. And I like the ink. And
I got it. I stay
baby. Yeah, baby.
I like it.
I got some new coming. But I just wanted to say it was lovely, and that I am so blessed to have 2 lovely ladies that share my experiences in life, that share the motherhood journey and share, and I want to let you ladies know I value and appreciate you so much.
Aww. So do y'all value and appreciate y'all kids though?
But I'd also like to say too, Greg, we know that your frustration is high because you have a standard that you have set for you, Pumpkin, and you are
so good.
Small group, Pumpkin.
Don't say that. I got some brothers. I got some brothers that out here. You know what I'm saying? They take their business.
It's 5.
Y'all, y'all cool. It's brothers out here who have stepped up to the plate.
The percentage is this big.
Yeah. I mean, I'm married to a brother that stepped up. I mean,
yes.
This is a dad for all dads. He might be, my daughters might not like him right now, but he is a dad to be all dads. He is the step up, stand out dad, and I will value him forever. I mean, I'll tell anybody in a minute. Don't talk bad about that one.
Yeah. And I think a lot of us miss that too. Like when men and women. Like I know dudes who got kids, and you know what I'm saying, he missed out on a woman that could have been a real good mother to his kid because he take care of his kid by himself. And there's women I think that have been introduced to men, and he could have been a real good father. He could have been a real good husband, but for some reason, you just never gave the opportunity. Go ahead, Bree. I'm sorry.
No, I was going back on the conversation we were talking about listening to the children. I was saying one of the important things to understand is that our children, when they become adults, they're gonna have a totally different type of lifestyle and a whole totally different set of issues than we had as we do differently from our parents. And so listening to children, they're just different. And sometimes we get so wrapped up in trying to do what our parents did for us that we tend to not listen to our children. We tend to not value how they feel. And so when they become adults, we have this cycle that comes right back around where They don't know how to function in the world. They don't know how to make decisions. They don't know how to take care of themselves, you know, and it's just like, it just goes over and over and over. And so, but but with that even said, times is just different. You got all this technology now, you know what I'm saying? We were just barely getting into it when we were kids. Our parents didn't have it like we had it. And our kids have it even more so than what we have. And so we got to get to a point where, and I've said this before on other shows, where we not in the times of kids being seen and not heard. Because if we stay stuck in that, they're going to talk to everybody else and miss out on all the good values that we could have put in them because we stuck on what our parents taught us.
Well, that's a segue into seen and not heard. I wanted my baby. She was the one child of all the children that was willing to speak up about, parenting styles and parenting.
He was sitting here like, can I go upstairs?
Well, come on. There she go. Don't speak on it.
This is Niecy Pooh, or my baby, Caitlin. I'd like to ask you, what is one thing that you think all parents need to do for their kids?
Like action?
Hey, where Desiree?
I'm finna get her.
All right.
Like actions. Honestly, I just feel like of all ages, parents should just have that like understanding that their kids aren't gonna be like them. Like, for example, and this is not just like a serious one. My mom wants me to play, and like if I didn't want to, I feel like she should be understanding of that and not have this kind of like, oh, I'm going to carry her legacy just because of her, and it's not because of what I want.
But she was raised right, so wrong.
Let her talk.
Or just like or it's not about how I feel, it's about how they want to look. Or how they want, their kids to put on a certain image about, being gay, or being outside the race, or even being trans, or just like it's something that's different.
Do you think that, what is one valuable thing that you think that I've taught you versus what some of your other friends' parents have?
Something that you've taught me, and I really grew from this, was expressing how I felt, and talking about my feelings, because I used to bottle my feelings in, and then I just took it out on the wrong people, or took it out on the people that I loved, and that really kind of damaged all relationships for me. And compared to a lot of my other peers or peers around me, they do fight, they do, smoke weed, and I can cope with what they're going through instead of just talking about it.
They're gonna ask you a question.
I have my baby on. She doesn't want to be on camera, but
go get your babies. Go get your babies.
Okay, Miss Desiree, the whole point is for them to see your face, sweetheart.
Beautiful.
Desiree, quit tripping, man.
Hello.
Baby D, quit tripping.
Ask the question, Miss Roy.
Go ahead.
So my question is, what is one valuable thing that you think your mother has taught you and made valuable for you when you compare parenting styles to your friends? Like, what is something that your mother has given you that you see that your friends really aren't getting, or your peers aren't getting in parenting?
No, answer the question. Right. She asking you, what did you think is valuable that I've taught you, not your disdain for me.
You can't go over everybody else. That's valuable because a lot of my friends go everywhere.
And I like that you said that, Dee, because there's been a lot of shootings lately and a lot of things that have happened, and a lot of bullets don't have names on them. So I do like that you commented that your mom told you not to go over everybody's house, because you can't. And I mean, I want you to think about some of your peers. Like, think about some of your peers and what you have. I know sometimes your mom get on your nerves. I get on Caitlin, do I get on your nerves?
I get on your nerves.
So, and it's okay. That's good. That's what we're supposed to do. She's doing her job. But when you think about your peers, what do you have? What has your mother instilled in you that your peers are not getting, but you're going to be better off for, because your mom is giving it to you?
Let me see. I don't know. I'm thinking.
It's okay, but that starts a conversation between you and your mom. That opens up the room for conversation because I grew up daily as a mother. And one thing this one has taught me, she has taught me to look in the mirror at myself when I'm being a total bitch. And she's like, she calls me on it. And I love that she will call me on it. And I think that's what listening is. I mean, I've raised her to be mature enough to where she can respectfully say, Mom, you wrong. And she knows how to say it. And I know how to receive it.
I don't do what you said was respectfully.
You don't do it. I was just about to make sure you have that. No, you're not about to perceive me as disrespectful.
So I don't teach you anything valuable?
You do.
Don't do it.
No, I'm just asking a question.
Webby, she's so pretty.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
My daughter being all shy, she don't want to get on camera.
That's how
Twin,
she
where you at, twin? Come on, twin.
You gone?
Ask her.
Twin, where you at, twin?
She gone.
What up, twin? That's so. Bree, you ask her the question. Bree, you ask her, or Ms. Roy, you ask her. You ask Bree's daughter the same question.
So, what do you feel is something valuable that your mother has given you or taught you, but that when you look around to your peers, that they don't have that. They haven't experienced that. What is it that you think your mother's instilled in you that can be passed on, but your friends are missing out on
it? To speak out and express how you feel. And yeah.
I hear your mom listens to you a lot, though. Like, your mom listens to you. I hear all the time. Is that really true? Does she really listen to you a lot?
Mostly.
So what could I do? What do you feel like I could do better to support you?
Yeah.
To have you feel like I listen to you more. Because we were talking earlier, it was a situation at school. And what did I say?
What did you say?
So the situation was, it was some girls was getting into it. And the first thing she said, I was about to walk away because I wasn't about to fight. You know what I mean? And so I told her, but what was the main thing I said? What could you do that I would be okay with? Don't be shy.
Come on, twin. Come on, twin.
You what to do?
Yeah, like in the situation, how would I support you if that situation came up?
You said you wouldn't be mad if I got suspended for 3 days for
what?
For swinging around.
Not that. Basically defending yourself.
Oh.
And so that goes back when she said, I guess when you said to speak up. To speak up. Yeah. To defend you. Like,
What could I do to support you better, baby?
What was your other question?
I want to ask you just a good question. What could I do to support you better, Caitlin?
Well, let me go get mine. Hold on.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
Let's think. No, and I don't mean this to be rude. I feel like sometimes you're unapproachable. Like, you do have stressful days, and I understand that. Just like the other day when I was talking about how the other two guests, not guests, Michaela and her guests, would treat me sometimes. You were very unapproachable.
I was,
and I felt like sometimes you do have stressful days. I'm not discrediting that, but what I'm saying is like to be more approachable, like because you do know how to calm me down and talk to me, but like in like a lot of situations that you're not approachable because
I won't put you on.
It's because I feel guilty because I can't fix everything for you.
I don't expect that. I just sometimes I just need to talk. I don't want anything to be
fixed. Ms. Roy, that is so true. Look, so let me say this. even as men, and let me say this for me, I can't speak for all, I can speak for me. Sometimes when we're going through something and we're talking to our woman, I don't want you to fix it. Sometimes I want you to listen. I want you to be that soft shoulder that I can just lay on and cry and be me. Just be me. I don't want you to fix it. I don't. I really don't.
What Uncle said.
Okay.
I mean, now I can't speak for all men, but I'm gonna say for me, you don't have to fix everything because I'm not going to try to fix everything with you. Now I'm gonna ask you if you need me to help you do something, but I don't want to fix it. But notice we can lay here, you can cry, you can lay on his shoulder, we can do whatever. We lay in the dark and just chill. But I feel you. I feel you, Nisi. Go ahead, the Webby.
Desiree, how do you feel that I could support you better?
Not letting me go places.
Jesus Christ. She said
extra.
Okay.
It's like,
how am I being extra?
It's not that far. And this is like a really big deal in my life right now because everybody doing stuff and I'm not driving out like you didn't drive me on to every day.
Okay,
that's how you could better me.
This is the issue. I live in Lancaster. Her friends, she recently transferred from Arlington ISD to DeSoto ISD, which is closer to me. And I get it. She's 14. She still wants to hang out with her friends out that way. I don't want to drive to Arlington every weekend.
Oh Lord.
Every weekend. So that she can see her homegirls. And I tried to meet her in the middle saying, your friends can come. I did. I said, your friends can come to you sometimes. You don't always have to be the one going out there with them. So she walked away now. So she's saying that I could better support her by allowing her, for me to drive all the way to Arlington every weekend, and I'm not doing it.
I feel you.
And look, I'm gonna speak from a dude point of view. So if I was daddy, what she needs to understand is that we have a life here at the house, right? I don't mind taking you, but I'm not. But it has to fit what we have going on. So there has to be a compromise between us two.
And see, that's what I was do. Saying.
Father. Go ahead, Breezy.
Let me get your homegirl mama phone number so we can talk, so we can work this thing out. Okay, so on every other Saturday, we gonna meet here and you gonna spend the night because I'm not coming right back to come pick you up.
There you go.
And she gonna bring you it's ways around it. Because for me, for one thing, I don't let my baby really go nowhere unless I have to talk to the mama. Yes, if I don't like the mama, she can't go.
Yeah.
And when I go somewhere, you can't leave the facility unless I'm handing you off to somebody, your mama, somebody. I can't. You can't just go to the car and say, "Oh, I'm leaving." No, I need to know who in the car.
What's the first thing I ask for your friends?
Oh, what's their name?
What's their mom?
School? What's her
mom? Have her call me. We need to text and all of that stuff.
And that's being a responsible mother.
So well, look, I want to ask the question. So Nalani, do you think that and I'm not going to be naive to think that you're going to tell me everything. I'm just not. But do you feel comfortable by telling me most things and talking to me about most things that's going on in your life?
Like what?
Just like school, relationship stuff, religion, anything, like really personal things that you're confused about. Do you feel comfortable to come and talk to me about those things? Most. I know I ain't gonna say all, but most, or a lot, or whatever. You tell me.
Well, it depends on like what the situation is.
Meaning like what?
Like with relationships and like my feelings.
Okay.
That's fine. Well, look, I was like, well, you know what? Let's be fair. I went and got BG.
Hi, everybody.
Y'all don't know who this is. This is my lovely mother.
The only thing about you, Greg, your mama.
So I'm gonna flip the question. Yeah, that's what never mind. Mystic, I love you, brother. I love you, brother. because your wife almost got it. So I'm gonna flip the question. So in all these years, brother, is there anything that I've taught you?
Oh, you taught me an awful lot.
Really? Okay, I'm listening.
Absolutely. You've taught me a lot in the full 180 that you've done in your life, your how you've changed your perspective, how God has presented you with certain scenarios, circumstances, opportunities, and how I can see the growth and how you have become a lot more mature. You don't just react the way you used to. And I have to tell you, you and Ty's relationship really, really taught me a lot about how people love unconditionally. I mean, I had that with your dad and, to a certain degree, but what I saw in you and Ty just took that to a whole nother level for me. So yes, trust me, you have taught me an awful lot. You've caused me to really take some self-inventory sometimes. And I know you try to present it in a respectful way, and the majority of the time you do. But that doesn't mean that I don't get in my feelings about it.
True.
But me, once I process and start replaying the conversation in my head, I've had to acknowledge a lot of hard truths about myself, and that information came directly from you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Christine.
I was gonna say mothers, to all mothers, including Mama Harrington. Mama. These kids, God gifts us with them, each one in different ways. And I didn't get mine the traditional way. She looks just like me, don't she? She just light skinned. But don't we feel like we've gotten the assignment that we're supposed to get when we get those gifts? Like, how do you feel about the assignment that you have, your assignment? And I can still say you're still growing, Greg. So your mom's.
Yes, I am.
So how do you guys feel about the assignment that you have?
For me, I feel like I learn something new every day because my kids are ever changing. I'm changing every day. So generally speaking, yes, I feel like that I've met the assignment, but I do also know that I'm getting more. Like I have an adult daughter now, and that's a whole totally different assignment. I have a son who's not living in my household right now. He's living with his father. That's a different assignment from when he was living with me, trying to parent across, almost across the country. And then I have, my baby girl who is just now becoming a teen. And so that's a whole totally different assignment. So I just feel like, generally speaking, yes, but I feel blessed that God is continuously challenging me to do more.
Yes. Anybody
well,
else?
Let me say, well, let me say this as a 15-year-old teenage mother, I didn't want the assignment. Okay, let me just say that from the very beginning. Okay, because I was ill prepared, all of that. But God, in His infinite wisdom, knew what I needed and knew who to send me.
Right.
Because, and I know all mothers can say this, but Gregory is not your typical Black man. He's not, by any stretch of the imagination. And so with that being said, he does bring he has brought a lot of things to my attention and has helped me in even my maturity. You know, I'm supposed to be the mother. I'm supposed to be teaching him. But in a lot of ways, he has taught me a lot of things. And I think I'm still growing. Even with his father passing unexpectedly the way he did, in the midst of all of that, in the midst of that storm, he still taught me some things, and he's still teaching me some things about how to deal with that. So I don't know that my assignment will ever be complete until I take my last breath.
Lil Webby?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
How do you feel about the assignment that, like, each one of us, okay, I'll answer it from my perspective.
Okay, I got it. Okay, I'm ready. But go ahead.
How do you feel about your assignment? Because each one of us was given a certain type of kid. How do you feel about your assignment?
Okay, so I got pregnant very early in the marriage, 6 months in. I wanted a baby, dreamed of a baby, wanted to comb her and do all these other things. I wanted a girl, and that's what I got. Jesus. Woo. Have you ever tried to parent yourself?
No.
And my child, clearly, for those who know she is a true reflection of me.
Oh.
And me sometimes gets on my nerves, but I wouldn't have it any other way. My friend is watching. She said, I tried to warn you. Monica, I know you watching. I know you did. I know you tried to warn me. I didn't listen.
What's up, Momo? That's my homie. Breezy?
I want to, oh, well.
Oh, go ahead, Christine. I just know Bree didn't answer the question, but go ahead.
That I'm proud to be Caitlin's mom because I became her mother. Come here. I became Caitlin's mom unconventionally, and it's why I chose to, Kayla is Kayla. That's Kayla. But Caitlin and I have a bond that's a little bit different. And because I never thought, I had 5 miscarriages, and I kept trying. And God said, stop trying. And he sent me my daughter, my baby. And adoption, for people who don't do it or who say that you can't, that's not your child, that's not your, this one might as well have come out of me because she and I are so much alike. We can like look at each other and have full out conversations without even. And it's like, so that's why I know she's my assignment. And though I got her at 13, I still got another 70, 80 years, Lord, whatever Lord see me living as long, to be her mom. And I'm honored. And I just want to say thank you for letting me be your mom.
Come on, Bree. Tell them everybody had their last thought.
I answered the question first.
Huh? Oh,
I answered the question. Okay. Yeah, are we just talking about specifically girls?
I mean, this is what she said. I was going by her question too.
Somebody asked me, if you could have more kids, what would you prefer? I said, I'm good on the girls because they are just like me. But our kids are all different. They are all different versions of me. I see myself in all 3 of them. And so I got myself 3 times. One just happened to be a boy. And, but again, like Webby said, I wouldn't have it any other way. I have really, and I'm not just saying it because they my kids, but people tell me a lot, you have good kids, you have great kids. And I think that just comes from, I used to get flack all the time about how I raised my kids when they were little. But because I put that early on, now I'm starting to see the benefits of the way that I raise my children. My children are very self-sufficient. I don't have any doubt in my mind that they will be able to make it out in the world.
That's good. Well, look, man, this has been this has been, hey, I'd say it's been educational for me. And let me say this publicly because I know I'll say it privately. I want to say to each one of y'all, and I've said it to some other females as well. There's days I envy y'all, but I'm not tripping because you get to share in that joy of watching your painting leave you and go amongst the world. And that is the greatest thing. What I mean by your painting is your kid. You painted this, you erased it, started over, but now you've completed it. And then now they're graduating and now they're moving on out into the world. And now they got to take all that with you. So now when you're at home, you get to see your painting, whether it's playing football, whether it's getting high honors in college or whatever it is. So I know it's not here yet and it's approaching. So I want to give even you, Mama, all y'all who are mothers, a great and proud salute and happy Mother's Day. I will tell you as a man, I'm going to tell you, it's not going to work. I know I'm not a baby daddy because that ain't going to happen ever in life. That's not even my mentality. I don't want my wife without my kid. I've even told females that if we have a kid and the doctor asks me if it's you or the kid has to go. Because I can't make another. We can adopt, but I can't make another you. And it doesn't work without you. So that's why I don't have no kids right now. Because I'm not having no kids with somebody that's not going to be one, stable, two, committed in a relationship with me. And so we can work through that. So I'm definitely proud of all y'all because y'all have done that, whether single-handedly or with someone. So I'm definitely proud of each one of you and give y'all all the kudos. So let's get out of here. I know we real late. So let's have the last thought. Ms. Roy, it was your show. I'm bet you had your last thought.
I had mine. I mean, my last thought was just thanking my daughter for being my daughter and stepping up and being willing to. As soon as I said this, she said, "Uncle Greg, oh yeah, I'll do it."
That's my niecey poo. Look, I got names for all their kids because that's what I am. I'm like the uncle. Lil Webby.
I wanted Desiree and I to have a very different relationship than the one my mother and I had, which you're not aware of. And I'm glad that even though she was being shy and yes, you want to go do this and that, but at the end of the day, she is still going to come talk to me. Even when she's wrong, she is going to come and tell me. I may not know right in that moment, but because I know her, it's going to eat at her until she's ready to come and talk to me about it. And when she does, I don't judge her in those moments. And I'm very glad that I don't because it allows for the relationship that she and I have that will carry on through other relationships that she has. So I'm very thankful that she and I can communicate in the manner that we do.
Excellent. Dr. B.
Well, this has been a great show. I want to say this. People can say a lot of things about me, but what they would never be able to say is that I was a bad mom. I always wanted to create a situation where my kids knew that I had their backs. Whether I agree with them, disagree with them, they still know that I have their back. And nobody is going to love them the way I love them. I'm not saying that I love them more than anybody else and all that stuff, but I mean, I really do. But somebody may do something different. But at the end of the day, they know that my love for them is much different from anybody else. And so I want to put them out in the world, educated, be thinkers, communicators, self-sufficient, and to know their value and their worth before somebody tries to mold them into something else. And that's all I got.
Not last, definitely not least, BG, aka I call her Mama. What's happening? I like them too. Y'all like the braids, girl. Look at you, looking like Cleo. We finna go ride back.
Gregory, no sir, we're not doing that. You know, even though my motherhood assignment didn't start out the best or the way I pictured it in my head, and we've had our ups and downs and our growing pains, but what I want all the mothers to know is that if you hang in there and you do the work, when your children are grown, it is so rewarding to see them be the individuals that you prayed that they would be. And I shall be forever grateful to God for my son. And I would not trade him for the world.
I appreciate that. And of course, I will say to you, in my last thought, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to be a mother. Ooh, I'm going to try to be cool. Thank you for taking time to be a mother. Definitely thank my father for being a father, but I was raised by a village. My uncles, my grandmother. I tell my grandmother all the time that you sacrifice so much for me that you won't have to worry about nothing. I promised my grandfather before he left that I would take care of these three. And when I say three, I mean I was counting my three girlfriends, my three ladies, my grandmother, my mother, and my aunt. Because when the world turned their back on me, they have always been there, right, wrong, and indifferent. And you don't understand how much I appreciate that. Now I have my sisters, which is great. And I have a lot of friends that I can call that. But me, my background, my backbone, why I'm strong, it's not only because of the men in my life, but it was because of the women in my life. They show me what it is to be submissive. That's why I know submissive is a two-way. It's a two-way street. I understand that my grandfather says his wife allowed him to be the man of the house, and that's exactly what she did. But he also taught that you don't abuse that either. You treat her as your partner. See, my teachings came early, and sometimes it hurts and bothers me when I see men not stepping up to the plate and not taking care of their business. Because I believe this wholeheartedly. It's important to have a partner that understands the grind of you living out your dream. You got to have a support system. And families are being reckoned, or the devil is winning a lot of families right now because we are not trying to be in relationships. We're trying to one up each other. We're trying not to have communication. We're too busy fighting instead of trying to seeking an understanding. And it's just time to stop. It's time to stop. Understand you got to change your behavior, your mindset, your focus. Quit trying to be perfect because nobody's perfect. My own upbringing was not perfect, but I wouldn't change it for the life of me because it taught me things not to be and some things to be. So understand, women, I can't speak for all men, but in my retrospect, in my mind, and in my heart, I won't do it without mine, period. Wife, I can't and won't do it without my wife, period, and raise a child. If I have to, cool. If it's much because she passed, but I am that dude that I want my relationship. I love my relationship, and I honor my relationship all day long. So, man, it's a great feeling. I know some other brothers who are out here, like are real close to my friends, are really ready to be married. Like we have these conversations amongst us. So when you hear our men ain't nothing, men ain't shit, that ain't true. Some of us are, but some of us get into relationships that were already defeated before I got into it. And it's women too. Women get in relationships that were already defeated before you got into it. Change your behavior, change your mindset, get it together, because we need our Black families, mothers and fathers. I mean that with everything in my being. Look, man, just once again, you listen to the full 180. This is how we get down every Tuesday. Of course, Administration Roy, my girl, Lil Webby, the Webster, aka March Madness, Future should take it to NASA, and we know about the killer. We call her Dr. B. And like I said, don't push her. She ain't no killer, but don't push her, especially when it comes to these kids. Thank you, Nisi Pooh. Thank you, Twin. Thank you, Baby D. Thanks, moms, for being here, man. Hey, we'll catch you next Tuesday right here, same bat time, same bat channel. Look, man, it's an old song, and my mother would know it, but I want to play this because it fits to what we're talking about. Thank you for joining us. If I missed your comments, I think I did better this time on the comments because I messed up last time. Adriana Torres, I have 3 sunshines. Yeah, hey, what's up? Thank you for joining in. Make sure y'all like the page. Jeff, what's happening, man? Shout out to my nephew and his wife, Candace, Founder Science LLC. Thank you for joining us as well. And all those who are your first time, don't let it be your last time. This is how we get down. We like to have real, truthful conversations. And as Ms. Roy said, we like to be real, transparent. Until next Tuesday, man, y'all have a great week. And we'll see you on the other side on 418.
Ooh, yeah. You came into my life. You just made everything right. And even though my man has left me behind, I don't regret a thing for having you. Thanks for my child. I'm really thanking you, the man above. Thanks for my child. You brought me so much joy. This bundle of love. Thanks for my child. And though your father, you ran away free, the love I have for you, baby, is the love I have in me. Ooh, I'll stay and watch you grow. Yes, I will. I'll raise you by myself, one woman show. You make life worth singing a song. With you right here with me, I'll have the strength to go on. Thanks for my child. I'm really thanking you, the man above. Thanks for my child. You brought me so much joy, this bundle of love. Thanks for my child. I'll hold you in my arms, I'll hold you close to me. I'll rock by my baby, I'll rock you to sleep. Oh, I understand your language, your baby talk. You've got to crawl before you walk. There you are, just looking so beautiful. And all the while, you're wrapped in blankets. You are my love child. Thanks for my child. Here we are today. Years go on by. You grew before my eyes, time after time. And though your daddy, he ran away free, love I have for you, baby, is the love I have in me, inside of me. The love I have in me. Oh, I just know I'll never let you go. No, 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 no. Hey, 'cause you're my sweet baby. Papa can't preach. Papa was the Rolling Stone, was he left this beauty, 'cause he left this beautiful. He left us all alone. But that's okay, 'cause I'm your mother, baby. I carried you for 9 months. And I'm gonna carry you until you can carry yourself on your own. I love you, sweetheart.
I love you too, Mommy.
That's all, folks.